What's up, guys? This is Wh1teOut, and today I'm going to be showing you my build of Mayakashi FTK. So, we'll start out with the main deck. Um, first off, for the Mayakashi monsters, um, you play 3 copies of Hajin the Wing Mayakashi. This is your main normal summon. He special summons one of your other Mayakashi monsters from the deck whenever he's summoned. So you use him to special summon uh, Daki, the Graceful Mayakashi, which we also play 3 of. She's your tuner for the deck. She's a level 2 tuner, and every time you synchro summon with her, she special summons back from the graveyard. Not only when you synchro summon, but anytime you summon a Mayakashi from the extra deck, so it includes link summons. Um, then the other Mayakashi monster we play is 3 copies of Yuki Mizumi. So Yuki Mizumi, whether she's in your hand or in the graveyard, if you control a Mayakashi monster, you can special summon her by sending a zombie from deck to the graveyard. So that's just a way to get our monsters into the grave, as well as get another body on the field. So most of our monsters we special summon from grave, so she's really, really good at getting what we want into the graveyard. So that's it for the Mayakashi monsters. Our other monster that goes with the FTK part of this deck is 3 copies of Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. Bone Tower, every time you special summon a zombie monster, mills 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. So with the synchro engine that Daki creates, special summoning herself back every time, you can FTK your opponent by milling their entire deck out with the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower effect. So our other monsters we play to supplement this are 3 copies of Unizombie and 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire. Unizombie is your main starter, dumping cards from your hand and your deck to the graveyard to get them onto the field to start your synchro engine with Bone Tower. Another starter we play is Gozuki. You can normal summon him to send something from deck to the graveyard, but we mostly play him because you can send him to the graveyard to special summon a monster from your hand. Then we have 3 copies of Mezuki as well. Mezuki is your monster reborn. It's really easy to get into the graveyard with this deck, and it's really helpful to the combo to help you get your pieces back after you've already used them once. So that is it for the monsters. Now we can move on to the spells. So first off, we have 3 copies of Mayakashi Return. This is your search card. It adds a Mayakashi card from your deck to your hand or sends a Mayakashi card from your deck to the graveyard, so you can use it to add your Hajin to your hand or send your Yuki Mizumi to the graveyard, whatever you need for that scenario. Then we play 3 copies of Double Summon and 3 copies of Call of the Mummy. So these cards are essentially doing the same thing, just giving you that extra summon from the hand. Since we're going first, Call of the Mummy just acts as a double summon by letting you special from the hand while you control no monsters. We need the extra summon so that we can get the Bone Tower out on field and the full Mayakashi synchro engine all in the same turn. So this is necessary. Next, we play 3 copies of Book of Life. This is just extra monster reborn. Even though we're going first, your opponent's going to have monsters in the graveyard for you to banish for this effect because we are milling their deck out. You use this to get your monster back to start the synchro engine for the second time if you didn't already get your Yuki Mizumi. Then for our draw power, we have 3 copies of Hand Destruction and 1 copy of Card Destruction. So usually you wouldn't want to fix your opponent's hand as well for free, like what Hand Destruction and Card Destruction do, but since we are going to finish them off on turn 1 before they ever get to make their first play, it doesn't really matter. So, our last 2 cards in the deck are 1 copy of Foolish Burial and 1 copy of Monster Reborn. So that'll be it for the main deck. Now we can look at the extra. So the extra deck is really simple. It's very specific. This deck has to have all of its synchro monsters. And so the extra deck is pretty much card for card between most Mayakashi decks. We play 2 copies of each synchro monster. So 2 of our level 3, 2 of our level 5, the level 7, level 9, and the level 11. And then we also play 2 copies of our Link 2. So the way the deck works is you synchro summon for 3 using Daki and Hajin, and then Daki special summons herself back, allowing you to synchro for 5, and then 7, and then 9, and then 11, all in order. Then you're milling your opponent's deck by 4 cards for each synchro monster that you summon. So once you get to the 11, they still will have some cards left. So what you do is you link off into the Link 2, special summon back Daki, and then you use your Yuki Mizumi to special herself from the hand or from the graveyard so that you can start over from the very beginning and just do the synchro engine again. By the time you get to the level 5, for most decks, no more than the level 9 the second time, you will have milled out your opponent's entire deck. And then the other 2 cards, or 3 cards that we play in the extra, are 1 copy of the Link 4 Mayakashi, for whenever we're not doing the FTK, and then 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus, 1 copy of Nightmare Griffin. So, aside from the FTK, because there's a lot of cards in the game that can stop it, pretty much any hand trap or Called by the Grave if your opponent went first, basically any interruptions if you did not get to go first can stop the FTK, so we play a separate strategy in the side deck. So the side deck for this deck includes a Zombie World engine. So after the FTK, if it doesn't go through, or if you're expecting your opponent to have a plan against it, then you can side in a engine for Zombie World strategy, which is Doom King Ballardrock, Necroworld Banshee, Glow Up Bloom, 2 copies of Zombie World, and 1 copy of Terraforming. So this will give you access to the Zombie World line of play. You've got your Doom King for the negation and banishing. You've got your way to get your field spell from the deck and to protect it. And then you've got your way to summon the Doom King from the deck, as well as 2 field spells and a way to search it. Other than that, supplementary to that strategy, we have 3 copies of Zombie Necronize. While you control a level 5 or higher, or while there's a level 5 or higher zombie on the field, you can use this as mind control, take control of your opponent's monster till the end of the turn, but it has the added benefit that you can shuffle back your banished zombie monsters, so your Mizukis that you've used in the last turn, back into the deck to set this card back to the field from the graveyard. Then, if we're not going to FTK, we do want to play a more us-centered draw spell rather than giving your opponent a chance to fix their hand. So we replace the hand destructions with 3 copies of Pot of Avarice. Since our synchro combo dumps 6 monsters to the graveyard each time we do it, you finish synchro combo, activate Pot of Avarice, shuffle all your synchro monsters back into the deck, draw 2 cards, and then you do your synchro combo a second time. Then if you have a second Pot of Avarice, go ahead and activate that, shuffle your synchro monsters back into the deck again, draw 2 more cards, and potentially do synchro combo again. You can do it up to 3 times and resolve all 3 Pot of Avarice in the same turn. So this card can be really insane. And then our last card in the side deck is 3 copies of Solemn Strike. So that'll be it for the deck profile. I hope to do more in the future. But for the meantime, I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.